गुड इवनिंग फ्रेंड्स। आज हम सेल्सफोर्स में कुछ इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन देखते हैं जो सेल्सफोर्स एडमिन और डेवलपर के क्वेश्चंस है। ये क्वेश्चन आपको इंटरव्यू क्रैक करने में हेल्पफुल हो सकते हैं। तो क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट करते हैं फ्रेंड्स। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, डेटा loaders using the expert operations, can you do update records if that records id is already exit in page, and if updated that records, then can you update it to second records with having some ID, and if not updated second records, then what errors message I given? If not possible to update records with the same ID in a files using the absurd operations, it will throw duplicate ID found the errors. Second questions, one product cost is 1000, is it is a store in the invoice, so once if change the cost of product to 800, then how can I update it automatically into a invoice? We can achieve this using the triggers or thought the relationship among the object. Next questions. One company is having some branches and all branches having the different department. So now I want to the display all department from all branches in a single Visual Force page. Using subquery, we can fetch all the required data and we can display if in Visual Force page. Next questions. Can can you please give some information about the implicit and explicit invocations of Apex, triggers implicit and JavaScript removing the implicit. Next questions. What is the Apex text executions? Executions Apex text classes. Next questions. In an Apex invocations, how many methods that we can write as a features annotations? 10. Next questions. What is Apex text executions? Execution Apex text classes. Next questions. I have a account the object. I have a status fields which has opened and completed the checkbox. Whenever I click on the completed, I want to an opportunity to be the created and automatically thought which we can achieve in the Salesforce triggers. Next questions. What are the workflow and what actions can be performed using the workflow? Workflow are used for automations, feeds, update, outbound message, email alert. Next questions. Write a query for the believe I have a parent's account and one child's contact. How will you get from Yell name from chats and emails from the accounts when organization name in in account is CTS? Select email, select name, Yell name from the contact where name is equal to CTS. Next questions. What are the outbound messages? What ID will contain? In outbound messages contain in endpoint URL. Next questions. What is the external ID? Primary ID. External ID is unique to the external applications. Primary ID is unique to the external internal organization. Next questions. Data loaders and which format it will support. Data loaders is a tool to manage bulk data. It will support CSV format of Excel. Next questions. How important wizard will not allow the duplicate using the external ID. Next questions. What are the validation rules used to the maintain data format? Next questions. Ajax compounds in Visual Force page. Apex actions oral. Apex action the functions. Apex the action the support. Next questions. Salesforce site Used to the show data from the our the organization for public the view. Next questions, auto response rules and equations rules for which object are the mandatory case and leads. Next questions, different the between the REST and SOAP API. Where is on the records that can be the handles. Next questions, what is the creating the debug long from for users? Track codes. Next questions, how access are the created? Email to the case and web to the case. Next questions, what is the after undelete? Will retrieving from the recycle bin. Next questions, will triggers new support? Insert will triggers delete the support delete. Yes. Next questions, what is the inline the visual force page? Having visual force page in the page layout. Next question, if is child mandatory feeds is a lookup and I am deleting the parents will be child the get deleted. No. Next question, junction object, when will we us if we delete the junction object, what will happen for the many to many relationship? Next questions, can we have a visual first page in the page layout? Yes. Next questions, how to create the standard object as a child's to custom object, which is not possible through standard aways process. How to bypass these abstractions, create the lookup and make the lookup fields mandatory. Next questions, in Visual Force page, the save should be ensure that data to be stored in the correct current object as well as a associated child subject. We have to the use database save point and the database rollback for these situations. Next questions, what is a audit feeds? What is the purpose of the audit feeds? Created by, created date, last modified by, and last modified date are the audit feeds used to the track when the changes are done to the records. Next questions, what we need to for exiting the limit of creating only two MD relationship for the custom object. Create lookup and make the lookup fields mandatory. Next questions, how to write JavaScript code for save the buttons. We have to create the custom buttons and in that some buttons we have to the write JavaScript codes. Next questions, what are the attribute of the Apex tag? Attribute tag is used to in creating the compounds. Next questions, how to insert a value to the parents and child's element at the same times. Use triggers. Next questions, how to make pick list as a required through JavaScript. We have to the create the junction custom buttons and in that custom buttons we have to write the JavaScript code to check the whether then pick list value is null. Next questions, what is the difference between the Ajax and actions followers? Actions followers is a timer that send an Ajax update request to the server that according to the time and interval that you specify. Next questions, when a case is generated by an user the thought web to case how to where a developer will be provide solution case arise. Emails notification thought the triggers of the thought the email alert workflow rules. Next questions, what is the use of the interface in Apex classes? Interface is a like to the class in which none of the methods have been implemented. The methods signatures are there, but the body of each method is MP3. To use an interface, another class must implement it by the providing a body for all of methods contain the interface. Interface can be provide a layer of abstractions to use the codes. They separate the specific implementation of methods from the declaration for the methods. This way, you can have a different the implementations of the methods based on your the specified specific the applications. Next questions. I have added an string string updated to all users in the account object thought batch apex. Now how to the remove that is updated. Run the below the code in the developer console. List account the select ID name from the accounts. And for account is equal to account. Name is equal to name. Remove in updated dot. Next questions, what are the type of the workflow? Immediate workflow actions, time the dependent workflow actions. Next questions, uh, can you tell me what is the time based the workflow? Time based workflow will be the trigger at what time we define will be creating the time the dependent workflow rules. Next questions, can you give me the situation where we can use workflow rather than triggers and why is the version? If you want to perform any actions after some actions, we can go for the workflow rules. If you want to perform any actions before and after the some actions, we can go for triggers. Next questions. Let's say I have a requirement whenever a records is created, I want to insert a records on the some or the object. Triggers can be the use for this. Next questions. Whenever a records is insert is the contact, I want to the insert a records in opportunity as well as we cannot do if with workflow, right? The how would you like do it with triggers? We can get the account ID from the contact and we cannot create a opportunity under the accounts. Next questions. What is the difference between the triggers dot new and triggers dot new map? Triggers dot new can be used in the before and after the operations. Triggers dot new map can be used in after insert and after the before update. Next questions. Can you tell me what is the difference between the Apex actions function and Apex action portals? Is there the any way that we can do the sum functionality of the Apex actions folder do? Apex Apex action folder is used to the call and Apex methods for the interval of time specified. Apex action the function is used to the call Apex methods from JavaScript. Using the set time out in the JavaScript, we can achieve the Apex action for all the functionalities. Next questions. You have Visual First page and however you click the button is a should be go to Google's. So how would you do that? Use page reference and give the Google URL in that. Next questions. I have opportunity object which is having to the value like open and close. I have to workflow rules if the particular object is open the status is should be updated to the close and if the status is a close if the should be updated to open. I have to show Salesforce the behave what would you happen to the records how to would be Salesforce believe the theirs it cases it if cases looping the errors. Next questions. I have an account the object and I have a status feeds which have open and completed the checks boxes. Whenever I click on completed, I want to opportunity to be the created and automatically thought which can be the achieve in the triggers. Achieve in the Salesforce triggers. Next questions. Can you the brief me about the Salesforce modus flow? Sales process include the quit generation tracking opportunity stage, update on close date and the amount and one opportunity. Next questions. How many records can be the retrieved by the list data type of if the page attribute in the read only? 10,000. Next questions. Can you tell me about the roll-up summary feeds? Roll-up summary feeds can be the created in a master data relationship alone. Roll-up summary feeds should be created one master object. Next questions. Can you tell me about the roll-up summary fields? Roll-up summary fields can be the created master details relationship alone. Roll-up summary fields should be created master object. Roll-up summary fields is a used to find sum, count, minimum and maximum of the child's records. Next questions. Can you tell me difference between the profile and roles? Profiles are used for the object level access settings. Role are the used to use for records level access settings. Next questions. What are the permission set? Permission set are the used to extend profiles permissions. Next questions. Can you override the profile the permission with the permission set? I have the defined the some permission in the profiles. I am the trying to the use permission set for the some object. I can the override the permission for the particular object in the permission set over the two profiles. No, permission set are used to only to the extent the profile's permissions. It never overrides. Next question. I want to have a reads. Write the permission for user first and read only for user two. How can you achieve? Create the permission set with the reads, write the and assign it to the users first. Next questions. Can you tell me difference between the profiles OWT or the sharing rules? Profiles is used for the object level access. It is used used to the provide CRUD, create, reads, write, read, update, and delete permissions. OWD is used to the for records level access for all the users across organization. It is used to provide public read only, public the read write, private public read write the transfers, leads and case the object alone. Sharing rules. Sharing rules is used to the extend role hierarchy. Next questions. What is the role hierarchy? Role hierarchy state the higher hierarchy person can see lower the hierarchy person the records. Next questions. I have OWD with the is read only. I have only have have all can access my data and I want to the give read the right access for the particular records to them. How can I do that? All users can use just read that is records. Creators sharing rules to the give the reads, write and access with the base and criteria sharing rules. Next questions. What is the difference between the role hierarchy and the sharing rules? Will both do the some permissions. Role hierarchy state that is higher the hierarchy person can see, lower the hierarchy person the records. Sharing rules is used to the extend role hierarchy. Next questions. What is the one of demand the process? One demand process is nothing but pay for what you see, at what you use policy. We can the subscribe what we want to the pay as you go models. Next questions. Can be the created to opportunity will the leads conversions? Yes, using the Apex code user first user associated with profile P. If we created the permission set and assigned it to the users first, now will the permission set which we assign to the overrides the exiting profile P. No permission set is always users for the exiting the profile's permission is not used to the override the profile's permissions. Next questions. Is there is any alternative for the actions corals using the set timeout in the JavaScript and calling the Apex methods using the Apex action in the junctions. Next questions. What is the different BW triggers and workflow? Triggers can be feeds fire before or after some operations. Workflow can be fire only after some operations. Next questions. Say about the Visualforce page. Using the Visualforce page tag, we can develop Visualforce page. Next questions. What is the mean by renders? Re-renders the attribute in Visualforce page. Render is used to decide the whether to the display or the hide to the Visualforce element. Re-render is used to the refresh the visual post element. Next questions. What is the meant by the standard controller in the controllers? In standard controllers, we can the refer the standard can custom the object. In controller, we can the refer the apex classes. Next questions. What are the different type of the cloud in the Salesforce? Sales cloud, service clouds. Next question. In which object role are stored? User roles. Next question. Which object workflow are the store workflow? Next question. Which object role are the store user roles? Next question. What is the alternative for the workflow? Triggers or the schedule the apex? Next questions. What is the use in use of is new? Check whether the records in the newly created. Next questions. If your organization workflow limit is over and if you want to the write a workflow immediately and it is critical, what will be you do? Deactivated and workflow and the created it is using triggers and then do the new workflow. Go for the schedule apex or triggers to the achieve this workflow. Next questions. How many users have a users supported? Number of users in the Salesforce organization. It help the required to the understand your the scalability. Next questions. In which object all the approval the process are the store approvals. Next questions. Which object all the image template are the saved image template. Next question. In which object all the account team the members are the added account and team members. Next questions. In which object and all Salesforce object are the saved? Yes object. Next questions. Which object all the opportunity team the member are the added opportunity team members? Which object all the apex page are the store apex page? Next questions. Which object are all apex triggers are the store apex triggers? Next question, which object all the Apex classes are the store Apex class where the product are the added product 2. And next questions, which object of workflow are the store workflow? Next questions, which object all the approval the process are the store approval? Which object all the email template are the same email template? Next question, which object all the account team the members are the added account team members? Next question, which object all the Salesforce object are the same object? Next questions, which object all the opportunity team the members are the added opportunity to team members? Next questions, which object all of Apex page are the store Apex page? Next questions, which object all Apex triggers are stored Apex triggers? Next question, which object all Apex classes are the store Apex class? Next questions, where the product are the added the product to? थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स, आज हमने देखा है सेल्सफोर्स एडमिन और डेवलपर के कुछ इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन जो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है। ये क्वेश्चन आपको इंटरव्यू क्रैक करने में फायदा हो सकता है। तो अगर मेरा चैनल आपको पसंद आता है, मेरे चैनल को लाइक सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलिएगा और मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में। थैंक यू सो मच, बाय बाय फ्रेंड्स।